Welcome back to the Duck Call Room, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we've invited the dark side over.
I
only say that because he's wearing all black.
I was like, whoa. I decided to go a little Johnny Cash for you boys today. We got Al in the house,
We got Al. Al said, I need a laugh, so he left the Unashamed studio and come over here. And we appreciate
he come
that.
to the right place.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I get asked a lot to come on, and I'm not always able to do it. But Hunter asked so nicely that he got through my veneer and just said,
I've been Hunter needs a raise. He got out.
Yeah. Speaking of veneers,
turn him down.
Speaking of veneers, have you seen Si smile lately?
I know it. It's been spectacular. Is this
these here are just the healing teeth.
These are temporary.
Oh, you still don't have the permanent.
Yeah, I'm heading, next week, Wednesday, to go up there and get the permanent ones.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with your old
I went back like 2 weeks ago.
Please.
And they took these out, done a bunch of x-rays, and like the ones I've got, seen how much they had wore down and all this, and then they finished the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a finished product now.
Well,
it's just not in his face.
What's funny, Size, I travel all across the fruited plains and purple mountains, and I get asked a lot about you, probably more than anybody else. And there's been rumors about your teeth. And so this guy at a recent event said, is it true that Uncle Si went to Mexico to get new teeth?
Missouri.
No.
And I said, no, but you're close. It's
I was
Missouri.
gonna say, it does start with an M. It's Missouri.
So I love it out there that somewhere there was somebody saying that Si went to Mexico, like he was getting a
Probably in one of his dad articles.
Exactly.
Getting a little sleeve done off the radar.
Sleeve, yeah.
We'll go to Turkey and get a hair transplant next.
Oh, man, alive. But by the way, thank y'all for letting us use your studio while ours was out.
I heard. I did not know that. And Si came in the other day. So we're doing the podcast. Si comes in and sits down, and I see him over there. And we're recording. And so I'm thinking, is Si going to be on the podcast? So I'm trying to think if I forgot something. Well, I didn't know you guys have been using our studio. And so he sat there for like 30 minutes. And finally, somebody had to come get him.
No, I was there for an hour. We were supposed to start at 1 o'clock. I come in there.
You got wrapped up in our podcast.
And then I got wrapped up in Unashamed because what y'all was discussing was awesome.
It was a pretty good discussion.
No, it was.
You can just watch them on.
I never did think about, why would God choose when Rome was in power? Why would he choose that date, that time frame for Jesus, his son, to come on this earth?
Right.
Had a lot of reasons. When y'all got into it, there was all kinds of good stuff come out.
Yeah.
And when Zach said something about power, because they was the power of the earth at that date.
Right.
But then I said, oh, man, I wanted to jump in there so bad.
Well, I wouldn't acknowledge Si because I knew if I acknowledged him, he was going to start in without a microphone.
I was fixed to take over.
So we were doing on Fridays we do our Hillsdale podcast, and we're doing Ancient Christianity. So that was what that was about. And John, Luke, and Christian are on there with us. And so we were talking about ancient Rome. And really the kind of the first 200 years after Christianity came in. And so the setting, it didn't just end there with the persecution and all that. It just went on through the process. But that's exactly why he came to do it.
But what was important on that for me was, y'all brought up like it said about the gates of hell will not prevail.
Right.
Okay. And you said, the Christian movement has never been defense.
It's offense.
It's always been offense.
That's right.
Ever since Jesus set foot on this earth, and established his kingdom by dying for it, the Christians have been marching on.
That's exactly right. It's not hold the line, it's forward.
It's still going on.
Still going. I like it.
But it was just, it was a fabulous. Okay.
So I got a question for y'all. Did you get this? Did you get Si's response to our podcast on this podcast later that day? Because I knew when he walked out that door.
Later that day, the next Monday, the following Thursday. Unlimited power. They didn't even know they didn't have the power is what Zach needed to say.
Well, because most Christian people, and I tell everybody when I'm out, I said, y'all don't believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit because y'all have never watched him work or them work. And I said, and God has blessed the whole Robertson family, but we've seen him do his work and his power.
Right.
Because we've had thousands of kids come to us that are dying of stage 4 cancer. And we've said collectively, we've said prayers for them. And hey, guess what? The Almighty looked down at that moment and said, bam, it's gone. When you see that over like 40 times, a couple of times would be enough for me, but 40? Because the whole Robertson family has done it. Folks, they're real and they're alive and they're well and they are doing the most remarkable thing with the most unlikely people you would ever run into in your life. Yours truly.
Si reminded me of the, Martin, you remember the first time that back when we were doing the original show, Make-A-Wish reached out to us about bringing kids in, and we didn't know what to expect. And the first time, I think there were maybe half a dozen or so kids, but when you include their families as well, there were like 40 people. And so we come in and they're so happy to see us, and we start looking at the kids and their situation, and we're all looking at each other like, whoa, like this is heavy. Because these kids are going through something rough. I mean, a lot of them, their heads are shaking. And so we kind of did our best. And after they left, I'll never forget this, we all got together and we were like, look, we're going to be doing this once a quarter. We have got to bring our double A+ game to be funny and to lift these kids up, because our job is they came to laugh and have fun, and we were all so heart sick about.
We were all over there crying.
Oh, we were.
And I was trying to calculate the last time I had a cough, because I was like, man, these kids' immune systems are shot with the treatment that they're on, and I don't want to be the one to give them something.
I remember
from that point forward, Si would start wearing boas and funny
hats.
Every time.
No, because when I did it, I went home that night and cried my eyes out.
I did too.
And look, I hit my knees and I asked God, I said, hey, look, make me come up with, I will do whatever it takes to make that kid smile and laugh.
Right. And you did, Si. You were amazing. And you were kind of our ambassador of the whole thing from that point going forward. But we did that for 7 or 8 years straight.
Yeah. And still doing it from time to time.
We was all in, it's like a guy going into combat watching a buddy get killed. It's that traumatic.
Yeah.
Okay, and I remember like it was yesterday when I looked at that kid, and I looked, hit my knees that night, and I said, Father, whatever you got to do it. And hey, there ain't no limit. Yeah. I will do whatever it takes to make that kid laugh.
Yeah. Whenever I was in full-time ministry, probably 3 different occasions, I wound up at St. Jude because we had a member that was there.
See, and I've been there when I was out on the road.
And I'm going to tell you something. I came with a couple of things. One is just how courageous families can be, number one. But number 2 is the people that work at St. Jude Hospital. There's sainthood, and then there's that. Because those people are incredible.
When I got to talking to the doctors and the nurses and the staff and the help, and found out that 90% of these people were as kids were cancer.
Yeah.
And then they chose to go to college to study for 8 years so that they could fight it.
Yeah.
And I said, my goodness, like you said, there's good people, and then there's those that, hey, step above and beyond being good.
Well, every dollar you ever send to that place is one of the best dollars you ever spent. So I encourage you to keep that going. I mean, I send money all the time because and look, these people that are coming don't have to pay. I mean, it's like because of
not
a
one
dime.
penny.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
and they don't cut corners on their beef.
Nope.
On their what?
On their beef. Well, Wendy's. I mean, he's the one that helped fund it. Sorry, I was trying to get out.
I mean, I love a good weird joke, Martin. But I struggle to keep up with that one. That is a fun.
That's a fun fact that Wendy's doesn't cut corners on their beef, and they have a major role.
They don't cut corners.
They do.
There it is.
Like, there you go.
Those are really good hamburgers.
See, you're welcome.
I love a good Wendy's burger.
I look for a segue when I can. I heard Dave Thomas. I was like, "Hey, we're in, man. Let's slide that way."
We were just on a cruise ship. I took my grandkids.
I shouldn't laugh at that. But
I took my grandkids on a Carnival cruise last week, and Guy Fieri
was on it.
He wasn't on it, but his hamburger place was.
Guy's
Burger joint. And my grandkids ate 4 Guy's burgers a day.
Ooh.
4 a day.
Well, I haven't been on a cruise ship
But
before.
not Al, because I'm PhD.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Haven't been on a cruise ship. That was probably a pretty good call because most of the food there is.
Oh, it's not very good.
Yeah, sans the ice cream.
It's like it's a Barnhills on the water.
It is, yeah.
Well, boys, spring's here. I'm out on the boat almost every day, and I'm feeling great. I'm 8 weeks into the PhD weight loss program, and I'm already down 20 pounds. It ain't just a number on the scale, though. This old body's feeling better than it has in a long time. It's so different than any other weight loss program. With the help you get your coach and just the way I feel, my knees don't hurt no more.
Observation from an outsider, it's working.
Hey, let me give you a secret. Doctors made pills to help you lose weight, but God made food to help you lose weight. You just got to eat right. GLP-1 drugs are really popular right now, and for some people, they can help, but they don't fix why your body stores fat in the first place. At PhD Weight Loss, they'll address your metabolism, hormones, and your body's stress responses so weight comes off naturally and stays off. It's not just about weight loss, it's better health and longevity. Right now, call PhD Weight Loss and mention
Godwin.
You'll get 2 weeks free in the program, and they'll pay you for your food. That's a $1,500 value completely free. Call 864-644-1900 and say,
Godwin.
and again, that's
Godwin.
That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com. No more guessing, just a smarter way forward.
How you been, Al? You've been beaching?
I've been doing a little bit of beaching. Mostly speaking, this is like our heavy season of travel. So at least I'm doing like 31 events this year. They also did hey, have you ever seen a situation, maybe it was a family or a marriage, and you thought, man, that thing is so bad, they could make a Lifetime movie about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're making a Lifetime movie about me and Lisa.
So you're way better at segues than I am.
So
That's
there
good.
you go.
Hey, goodness! I thought you were about to talk about some restoration you saw 10 years ago. No, you're talking about the one you're living.
I'm talking about the one I'm living.
I thought he was about. I was like, I hope he doesn't say the name of whoever he goes to church with. Good night.
No,
it's me.
It's me and Lisa, and so they actually it's a part of. Willie and Corey, they have a new production company that's doing the new show, the new Duck Show. And so a part of that was to make some other stories about the family into some sort of media. And so Lifetime was very interested in mine and Lisa's story. And so, because it was, like I said, kind of the most tragic of all of them. But obviously it's turned out well because, we've been together for 41 years. So we did it. They filmed it up in Arkansas, and it was really surreal to meet a 30-year-old young man that is going to play you.
Be Al Robertson.
And he was me from 17 to 30.
Oh, okay.
So he played me as a youngster as well as on the way through. So that's kind of the period of the film.
Did he get that sweet tattoo on his arm?
He should have. But he did have several.
You stole I was about to say, did he just throw some letters on his arm?
Did they cover that?
The reason he didn't is because he didn't know anybody that knew prison style tattooing. Because you got to have just the right friend in your life to give you that one. So that.
Oh boy!
But it was really interesting because the actress that played Lisa, I think she was 33, and this young man, Luke, is his name, was 30. And we had to talk to him for like an hour and a half or two to get into our heads so we had to do it by Zoom because, TV movies are fast and quick. I mean, their thing is film it in 3 weeks and we're done. And so we had this conversation. It was really surreal. And what I found was interesting is that the minute we got into talking about mine and Lisa's life, of course, he's read the script, so he's aware of our story and read our book. But he starts into stuff going on in his life. And I just thought, it's the same old thing it always is. If you're willing to be transparent about what you go through, even the people playing you in a movie, will say, well, here's what's going on with me. What do you think about this? So instantly it was a ministry opportunity for the guy playing me when I was young and, kind of out there wandering and trying to make my own way. So it was really great. We hadn't seen the final product. We did go visit the set one day, and it was up in Bentonville, Arkansas. It was cold, but he and Dad, the actor, me and Dad, and the guy playing Dad was pretty funny. He was, it doesn't look exactly like Dad, but the guy got his mannerisms down pretty good, I have to say. I was impressed. Thumbs up.
Yep.
And they were sitting out on the front porch. And so by this time, I've come back to the Lord. And so when I came back, it didn't happen like the next day, but I had been like beaten up severely, like life-threatening, beaten up. And when I came back home, I still had the remnants of that. Well, he does in the scene here. He's got the yellow bruised eye and he got the look. And so he and Dad are sitting on the porch and we're putting the duck calls together. And he's just basically saying, I screwed up. My life's been a mess. I'm sorry. Was me to Dad. And what was neat about it was one scene in the movie. It'll be probably 20 seconds, 30 seconds. But in life, that was 3 months of me sitting on the front porch down there on the river with Dad, putting duck calls together. Because Jase claims I've never been in a duck call shop. Other day, Jase was like, wow, you may not know this, but here was the duck call shop. I said, Jase, while you were still pooping in your Pampers, son, I was doing duck calls. I was at the beginning. You were just a little, you didn't know anything. Yeah. So don't tell me, do I know what a duck call shop is? Yeah. Who do you think's the number one son? I mean, come on, man. Oh, man. And so anyway, in that scene, it got me watching it because we're in the back of this, they've taken a house and they recreated it to be Mom and Dad's house. And, it doesn't look exactly like theirs, but here's what they got. They got Mom's crap everywhere. I mean, it's just, I'm looking around and I thought, you people, somebody did some serious research because this house was empty. So they totally recreated it.
They just started putting
there's stuff everywhere and little notes stuck all over everything. You know how Mom's house always was. And so they totally nailed it. But I was watching in the back as they were filming it and just watching the scene, it just takes you back. And I thought, man, this 30 seconds was 3 months of my life of Dad basically building me up and saying, it's going to be all right. I mean, you were a mess, you're right, but now you're on the right path. And so I was just so deflated because I'd been so bad. But Dad, you'd think he wouldn't be like your encourager. He didn't seem like that kind of person, but he did. He totally breathed life into me in those 3 months and got me turned around. So I don't know. It's just the only scene I saw, but I saw it. And if it comes out, if the whole movie comes out like the one scene I saw, it's going to be really good.
You said that, and that reminded me about when he let Willie take over the Duck Commander.
Yeah.
And he never got in Willie's way.
Willie has said that several times.
No, hey, that's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
That's hard to do. This is your company. You formed it. And all that. Now, he didn't get into the business side of it,
right.
Okay, because Kay took care of all that. But I'm just saying, for the man to just hand it to the son and then step out totally and never, so, but the whole point of this to me is, okay, people are always saying, hey, one man can't make a difference. That's a bunch of crap. Okay? Because I'm looking at the Robertson family. One man can make a difference.
Yeah.
If he's honest with the world and transparent, yeah, you can make a huge difference.
Right.
Because I remember having a discussion with you when you and Lisa was having trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And I had told you, I said, well, Al, here's what you should have learned from this. If you've never been done wrong and had to give forgiveness, you don't know what forgiveness is.
That's right.
And the reason I knew that, me and my wife had problems, okay? And I had to forgive her. She had to forgive me.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's one of these things that, hey, whatever goes around, it comes back around.
I've watched all the shows, but the show that I've enjoyed the most out of the new show is the one that was a tribute to Dad, which was the season 2 premiere. And I just have to say this in public. I don't think I've said anywhere else that I'm so proud of A&E because, they and Dad didn't always get along.
I'm about to say,
the least.
I know it may be stating the obvious, but there were a few dust ups back in the day.
And Si said Phil got out the way and didn't say, as a guy who was in those other meetings, he let it be known it was still his. So we were in the other one.
So at the end of the day, I was so impressed because, to your point, Si, it wasn't always an easy road, filming, especially with Dad, because he wanted to preach and do his thing.
Nope.
But you know what? To their credit, they honored him. I love that episode. I cried at the end of the episode when, they showed the episode, the 50th anniversary episode. And so I just wanted to say shout out to them because they've done, I feel like, right by us. And us getting to do this movie was great because Lisa and I do a lot of marriage ministry. The main reason I wanted to do it, there's hardly any money in TV movies about, just so you know, John David, if they want to approach you about your story, there's not much money in it. But I will say this.
My kids got a chance. I got none.
What I will say is that if you do ministry and you would like to have a professionally done movie about some of the stuff you share in front of audiences, the one thing I asked for was access to clips and stuff from the movie so I could use that in a ministry tool. So, like if we're telling the story about, Lisa and I getting to the point of when she had her affair, and this is an intense setting, to have that where somebody filmed it and there's two young actors playing us and we could actually show that's pretty good. I don't have to tell the story. I'll say, here's what it looked like. Watch this.
Well, you can tell the story, but a lot of times when you put a visual component to it, kind of like The Blind was, right?
It was, that's right.
We all heard Phil tell those stories how many times? He was an open book, but then you saw it lived out and you're like, oh, That's a little tougher than just listening to the man sit there and say it.
It's just like with our family, Martin. You and John David have been around us all these years. I mean, we told stories ad nauseum, but you put it on camera and you put some other components in there. I mean, it really makes for entertaining TV. And so I think it does. Media and the art of television making as well as movie making is just another way to get the gospel out there. I mean, it's just another way to see that. And that's what The Blind was.
And not only that, the best part of it is, it shows the power of God.
Look, sometimes you get so familiar with something, it's easy to take it for granted, to forget what it actually costs. And y'all know that we believe the story of Easter is the most beautiful story ever told, and we definitely don't want to cruise past the importance of what Jesus did that day. So what if this year you slowed down and considered the crucifixion from a new perspective, right? That's exactly the idea behind Tim Tebow's new book, If the Tree Could Speak.
It's a great book, beautiful pictures. My kids loved it. Hey, on page 112, it's the tree talking about how he came to learn who his suffering was for. And the next page is a really good one because it just says you.
There you go. Make it simple. Look, it tells the crucifixion story from a perspective you've never heard before, the cross itself. The illustrations are phenomenal. We just talked about them. Every page leads you to really feel the weight of the crucifixion moment. And even if you know the story, which we all do, this book gives you a fresh way to see it. You'll reflect, think, and deepen your faith. This is more than just a book. It's a meaningful way to prepare your heart and revisit the story of Easter in a new way. It's a way to introduce your younger kids to the resurrection moment. This one's worth checking out. You'll see the crucifixion differently than ever before. If the Tree Could Speak by Tim Tebow is available now on Amazon. Order your copy today.
That it don't make any difference how bad you thought you was.
Mm-hmm.
God can take you and turn it around and make what you did a victory.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, and like most people didn't realize how the dramatic experience Phil doing the movie Blind affected him.
Oh, it did.
Okay.
And he was apprehensive about it, too.
Yeah, I'm his brother, so I know.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of times I was with him when he was doing what he was doing, and it put me in a bad situation. Kay felt better because I was there, but that didn't help nothing. Okay, but it bothered him to the point, especially when he's slapping Kay around in the movie.
Right.
Because, hey, deep down, that man loved the ground that woman walks on.
Yeah.
Okay, and that hurt him more than anything else for them to show him abusing her.
Yeah.
And that was the part that I,
Well, Si, it's interesting because most people that have a bad past, and I'm not saying Christian, not Christian, whatever, they spend most of their life trying to bury that.
Yeah, cover
And
it
get
up.
as far away from as possible.
Put as many layers in
Exactly.
between.
And look, that's all understandable. I mean, I'm fixing to have a movie about me, so I get it. And it's going to show some of the worst parts of who I was. But Dad and I had a lot of conversation about this. And, at the end of Dad's life, first of all, he found out about Phyllis, which came out of nowhere, when he was 74. And so, again, that's your old life that comes calling back, because here was something he didn't know about, and nor did Mom, nor did any of us. And so all of a sudden,
Kay suspected it.
What Mom said, there would be she said there would be someone show up. She thought it'd be a boy.
No.
We didn't know.
No. Yeah.
We didn't see. I thought the only girl we had in the family was Jep, and then Phyllis came along.
Sister.
Yeah,
Jep just stayed catching rays.
And I mean, as a guy, because Phil used to always make fun of like Jep. Oh, three girls, you ain't getting all the way there, And so when that happened, all those jokes that he said to Jep and to Stone and everybody else for however long was like,
Well, one of the jokes was,
gotcha.
by the time
that was my statement. What goes around comes back.
So we had Phyllis show up, which was obviously, like Mom and Dad handled it great. I thought our family handled it great. I mean, we love Phyllis. She's definitely part of the family, but it was a blow. I mean, it's hard because you spent your whole life and all of a sudden you've got to integrate a whole new family into your family. And then the movie was right after that. It was like, 3 years after, 2 years after that. And that was something else. And now all of a sudden, because Dad looked at me, he said, Al, would you want the worst part of your life on a movie screen? And I was like, nope.
No.
None of us would. But I did say, I said, but Dad, look, I do think that if you, and it's up to you, we don't have to do this project. This is one of the early discussions, because I'm the Phil Whisperer, that was my job. And so I
called you many a time saying, hey, I need this done.
So I said, but Dad, I really think if we do this and it's done well, I said, and at the end of the day, I think it will be, because our family's in charge of it, that it will win a lot of people. And he looked at me, kind of had Dad is, he just kind of cigar store Indian me for a few minutes. And then he said, you think we'll win some? I said, oh, I know we'll win some. And he said, well, let's do it. And that in essence was Dad. So now that he, and 2 years later he was gone. And so I realize now that Dad lived his whole life for those 50 years post Wild Phil, totally in wide open mode for the Almighty. And so at the end, I think there were a couple of challenges just to remind him, like, you remember how you got here. And you don't get that perspective until somebody's gone. But I look back on it and I think that was the challenge at the end, to say, well done, my good and faithful servant, because it was just a reminder. It hadn't always been easy, but you did the right thing. And so now that I'm 61, it hit me not too long ago. I thought, you know what? Mom and Dad were my age and Lisa's when this whole thing first started, when the Benelli show came out. They were my age. They were early 60s.
Yeah.
And they're running all over the country just like Lisa and I are, flying everywhere, speaking every time you turn around, doing all this stuff.
Kay had a perm.
I mean, Mom had a perm. all this like activity. And then I thought it was all there and it was wide open, and then it was over. Like, then it was like, it's just, that's it. And so they went out in a blaze of glory. And so it reminded me that even though I'm 61 years old, I don't know how much time I got left, but whatever it's going to be wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open.
That's the most.
No, because me and him
Sprint
talked
to the
about
finish.
it, to him. And I said, what were you thinking when they came to you with this ideal? And he said, if it will bring one person to Jesus, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but they gonna put you on the screen, the real Phil Robertson back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh, I know it. But that's why I said most people don't realize how much that impacted him.
Yeah.
Okay, because and I finally it made me angry.
Yeah.
I said, hey, y'all need to get off of him.
I remember.
That was the old Phil Robertson.
I remember. So
you need to look at what Phil Robertson, the new one, has done instead of just keep piling it on to him. Get off of it.
So, Si, let me tell you this story. I don't think I've ever told this before. So 3 years ago at the WFR marriage retreat, we're there, and that was the year. That was right after the movie released. It released in September, and so this is the following February. And this guy comes up to me. They were from Russellville, Arkansas, and he said, "I got this young man that wants to talk to you. That's here for the retreat this weekend about how your dad, how the movie The Blind has changed his life." Of course, in the moment, I'm thinking, "Oh, here we go. Here's one right here."
Yeah.
So I look around. Well, he's not in the room, and his wife is standing there, because it's a marriage retreat. And I was like, "Is he here?" I mean, because like he said it, I'm looking around like, "Where is he?"
He wants to meet you. We don't know where he is.
Look, so he's outside. He wouldn't even come in at this point. He was like either fearful or ashamed or whatever. And I said, "Was he here?" And he said, "Yeah, he's waiting outside." I said, "Well, send him on in." So he comes in, he sits down, he's kind of looking down at the floor. And it took him a minute. And then so he tells the story, and his wife is kind of helping him. They went to the movie. She got him to go to the movie because he's a huge Duck Dynasty fan, huge Phil fan. And so, his life's a mess and of a lot of stuff. But she got him to the movie. She knew.
Yeah.
So he watches the movie and he doesn't react at all. He doesn't do anything. She said just like he was like almost catatonic at the end of it. They get in the car, they're driving home and nothing. He doesn't say a single word all the way home. And a couple of times she said, "Well, did you like the movie?" And he just kind of gave her a little nod. And that was it. Nothing. They get home and Lisa and I call it when we do marriage ministry, truth vomit, because it's just like, you can't hold it back any longer.
All of it comes out.
They get home. He just like, he cried. He started telling me this. Well, he started crying when he was telling me just where his life had been, all this stuff. So, he told it. We prayed together. I got to know him a little bit that weekend. And then they go back to Arkansas. So, because it's not like he's in our church. Next year rolls around. This is 2 years ago at the marriage retreat. They said a couple's do, and I don't plan anymore. I just show up and do stuff. And this couple gets up to do their testimony. Guess who it was? This guy and his wife. So the next year, they're giving their testimony at the marriage retreat. And when he's up there giving his testimony, he gets to a point in the testimony, and I could tell he looks and he stops, and he had a hat on. He pulled his hat down low, and he's looking down at the floor, and he's about to reveal something he's really ashamed of. And it was an addiction to pornography. And so when he tells it and he says it out loud, his wife looks at him, she's got tears in her eyes, and she says, "That's the first time you've ever said that in public." And she said, "I'm so proud of you." Of course, all of us by this time are like, "Arr."
Yeah.
But in that moment, I just thought, man, so I watched this guy from 1 year to the next. Now he's sharing his story. And then this year at the marriage retreat, they're back again, year number 3. And he tells me about all the times he's been going around now giving his testimony, and he's about to start a podcast. And so he's like, can you help me? I know y'all do podcasts. And I said, "Yeah, let me hook you up with some of our people back at home." So I just thought, I watched that young man over a 3-year period, but it started because we made that movie because Dad was willing to say yes.
Well, stayed outside because he's ashamed to come in to start with.
Exactly. Wouldn't even come look at me. He was so
wouldn't
ashamed.
even look up at you.
Yeah. And now he's
sharing it with the world so that they can get the benefit of, hey, you're never too far gone.
Which is why you have to be transparent. I always tell people, don't be stingy with God's victories, because those are the ones that impact other people and make a big difference. So anyway, I don't know if I've ever told that story, but that just me watching it over 3 years is pretty amazing to see it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why I always tell everybody, hey, one person can make a difference.
That's it.
Spring's here, life gets busy, travel, eating out, all the things, But one thing I keep consistent is AG1. It's an easy daily habit for whole body health, and it only takes 20 seconds. AG1 is a daily health drink that's clinically proven to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps with more than 75 different vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and more. No complicated routine, no mixing and matching a bunch of different pills and all that, and powders, because one simple scoop has you covered.
Or one pack.
One nice little travel pack. Look, I start my mornings with AG1, so when my day gets going, I know I've already done something good for my body. Plus, the steady energy support from the superfoods and B vitamins is better than a cup of coffee. AG1 will keep you moving through spring, feeling your best. They got original citrus, berry, tropical. Right here, I'm holding the berry, which is delicious. So if you don't want to try and figure out all the pills and all that, AG1, because one scoop will do you. Look, and I love these guys right here. Come in a little handy dandy travel pack, throw it in your backpack, get a bottle of water, dump it in, boom, one pack will do you. So go to drinkag1.com/duck to get an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 for free in your AG1 welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order. That's a $72 value. Yours free only while supplies last. Go to drinkag1.com/duck.
Well, we all rooting for the underdog, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, and we're all underdogs.
And well, it's funny.
Until we find Jesus.
Because we all been there.
Well, yeah, you're an underdog till you find Jesus.
Yeah.
And then you're a champion. So that's always the fun
Yeah.
part, man.
But it's fun to me because you keep saying one person can make a difference, but it always goes back one more person. Because if you say Phil's huge difference, you go back to Jan.
Yeah.
So you go back to Bill Smith.
Oh.
And then you go to Al. Then you go to this kid who talked to Al and who's hearing his testimony. And so
That's
it's,
right.
it's all one person that
Exactly.
God's using. And then he uses that to just make rivers of other things
look,
happen.
God is an expert at picking the one person, okay, that's going to get that person, and then that person is going to make such a huge difference that it's unreal.
And look, and we all play a role in it. Si. I mean, John David knows this, but his grandpa approached me and Jase and said, you know, we see something in you boys. We think you've got something that's bigger than just sitting on the side of
It's
the river.
bigger than you.
Yeah, and so they were like, I'll help support you to go to preaching school because I think a good biblical knowledge, who knows where it'll take you. And I mean, up until this point, I never even imagined anything like that. But he had the vision to see that. And then your parents and aunts and uncles, because of them, we were able to get our biblical education that wound up being the basis for everything we do to this very day. All those people build into that. So it's not just even the one, it's everybody around.
No, because I was telling JD and Phillip the other night that I want to incorporate what we're talking about in the podcast.
Si believes we've gotten too silly in this room.
Well, no. I want to, I know there's so many people out there struggling and hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that, hey, the healing process is available for you.
Absolutely. And you've taught them that. You don't have to get serious to teach them that. The healing process a lot of times is laughter, old man. And you bring a smile to a lot of people's faces
look, Si, this is back
that
to what
help them heal.
This is what I said at the beginning. I think the value of what you guys do on Duck Call Room is to make people laugh. I do think it's good to provide some nerve.
Absolutely.
I want to bring in more of what we're doing today.
Right. Well, a lot of that
Okay,
depends on your
'cause, hey,
capacity.
Al, you got more time on your hands?
Yeah, I need one more podcast. That's what I need.
Well, it's one of them things about, hey, look.
He's
you're
worried
not
about his legacy,
You're not
boys.
the only person that's ever been, sorry for what he's done.
Well, and that actually goes, I thought this when you were talking about you and your dad, and you wouldn't imagine him being the encourager for those 3 months on the front porch, but he was the perfect person because he was that guy.
He was that guy.
And so he saw himself, so he was like, oh, you can get through this.
But look,
Here's
I've got the
one thing.
T-shirt.
JD,
If you've been through it, you're not going to be able to blow smoke up my rear end.
but it shows
You're
you.
talking to the one that I'm like, Paul, I'm the worst there is, son. So, hey, don't even go down that route.
But it was Dad's humility because JD, he's the one that told me 2 years earlier, you got to get your life straightened out, son. You're a mess. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to wind up in a bad situation. And he was exactly right. A guy almost killed me in New Orleans because my life was so bad. So he could have said, I told you so, nanny, nanny, boo, boo all day long. But he didn't.
No, he only told Kate that.
He only told Mom that. So
He walked back in the house and Miss K told him.
I was right.
but in humility, like he had been hard with me, straightforward. but when I needed just someone to like lift me up.
Yeah.
And so it reminded me of a time when.
Well, the prodigal son is
it's beautiful.
No, I'm serious.
And you realize in the prodigal son, I'm the older brother in the family, but the younger son in the story. Jase is the younger brother, but the older brother in the story.
Yeah.
We talked about this many times on the podcast.
Yeah, because and Phil, he wasn't waiting. When you finally come back, he met you. He ran
in the yard
with his arms open.
He did not make me. And look,
Didn't
he said,
say nothing about it. Just said,
you know
hey,
what he
welcome.
said, Si? He said, Al, we got duck calls to build, son.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. That was his thing.
No,
and
no.
he didn't hug me, but he did give me a thumbs
Oh, no,
up.
well, yeah. I'm glad you're back.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that night we killed a fattened catfish and had a celebration.
Yeah.
There you
Because the
go.
lost son had come home. So.
Hey, it don't get no better. Just like the Bible.
Hey,
Mouth of Cyprus, Israel, all in the one.
And Jase grumbled.
Oh, he did. Jase.
I mean,
let me
good
tell you-
night. I've been here a whole time reading my Bible.
To
Al's
Jase's
out
credit,
Oh,
to
boy.
Jase's credit, he says, "I wanted you to be punished."
well, hey, look, at least he was honest.
He was.
He was honest.
He was.
Jace has always been
He
honest.
was the older brother in the story
Oh.
because he was like celebration.
Yeah.
You know, we need to punish him.
Yeah.
But look, I've
Dad,
said.
you're going the wrong way with this. Get him sick.
I've said this about Jase before. I was like, but Jase, I do not hold any grudges because I was terrible to Jase. Jase was a narc. He was always trying to get me in trouble because he was the only one that knew the real me. Because, when you're 14, or 13 or 14, and your brother's older and messing up, because you're around, you hear the little story, you know what's going on. And even in the movie, there's a couple of scenes. There's one in particular that I saw. They just sent me some clips, and it's me. I'm coming in, and Dad's like, "Where have you been?" And I made up some lie, about where I've been. And when I'm walking out, Jay said, "I know where you've been." I said, "Shut up," I gave him the old deal. I said, and I told the director, I said, "In real life, I would have just grabbed him by the throat,
backed
threatened
him
his
against
life."
the wall.
So I was terrible to Jace.
Is Jace the reason Phil whooped you and all your friends?
Oh yeah,
because that's one of the greatest stories.
Oh
of all
yeah,
time.
he was the key narc, and he always was.
That's one of the greatest. That episode with that, I told
I
Al
tell
a
that
million
story for
times. I said, "Son, I'm impressed with your friend." I said, because hey, if I'd have been there, I said, "Hey, you kiss my rear, and I ain't coming down to that. Your dad beat
Well, especially the one guy who had never been there before. Like you talk about the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's
bad.
Like
Yeah.
W.E. and Greg, they were my best pals, so you'd expect them to stick up for me. But I was like, dude. I mean, just leave.
Yeah,
just
it's
walk
time-
away.
It's time for you to cut
This
bait,
isn't
man.
the
Get
time.
out of
This
here.
isn't the time to
yeah,
like
you
try to
don't
prove
have to
something.
get involved in this.
Yeah.
So he came back 30 years later. He came to Whites Ferry Road one Sunday, and he walked in, and I saw him in the back, and he looked at me, and he said, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "You look very familiar." And he went, I won't say his name because it may embarrass him, but he said his name, and I said, "Good night, son." I said, "It's been 30 years." I said, "I've made you famous. I've told your story all over." I said, "You were the fourth guy
That's it.
where
yeah.
Dad was whipping and said, 'Son, I don't know who you are, but you go home and tell your parents.'"
Yeah.
And so he laughed, and so Dad comes up. I said, "Dad, you're not believe who this is." He said, "Who we got here, Al? Who's this buck?"
Yeah.
And I said, "This is the guy that you said, I don't know who you are,
But you gonna get
you
it
go home and
too."
tell your parents that Phil Robertson whipped your behind." And he was like, "Is that you?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, "Did it work?" He said, "No, sir, it didn't. I've been divorced." He just kind of goes into his sad tale of his life, And
It
Dad
didn't
said,
help me. It didn't help me that
so
much.
then Dad said, "Well, son, come on in here. Come on down to the house. I'll tell you about how to get it done." So it's like the same old Dad,
Oh, that's amazing.
Good grief. Oh, man.
Oh,
What a walk down memory lane. Well, how I know last time when we called Kay, you were the one who
Kay wants to
wrangled-
come back on.
wrangled the
does.
phone for her. So how is Miss Kay? We'll get a little personal update straight
You know,
from the
I'm going
source.
to tell
there.
y'all something. I have to say, not many times in life, I'm pretty good at just, looking at situations and giving you a pretty good, breakdown of what's going to happen. 7 or 8 months ago, I thought Mom was done. I thought she was following Dad. She was in terrible like physical health, mental health. She's in the hospital. She has UTIs. She's like, I want to die. I'm ready to go be with your daddy. I mean, she was at that place.
And I've never actually shared this, but I feel comfortable now. She was next door to my grandmother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would go see my grandmother, and then I would stop and see Kay. And like I never wanted to like overbound and say that, you know, Kay was in the same place as my grandmother, which is where my grandmother passed away.
Exactly.
And then, you know.
And I would do the same, JD. When I would go down and visit your grandmother, I knew with her, I thought she's not going to be here much longer. Yeah. And I thought the same thing about Mom. And so when they were there together, I said, we'll be doing a funeral by the end of the year. And this was last year. This is like, you know, early fall. And all of a sudden, when she got out of the hospital that last time, she went back, but she started feeling better, and you could tell. And then she lost some weight just because she wasn't eating much. You know, they usually get real thin at the end, and she lost some weight, and she started getting up a little bit more. And then finally, Willie comes in one day and was like, "I don't think she needs to be here. I think we need to move, try her at a house." Of course, I was all for it because I thought it would be better for her. And to be honest, I thought it'd be better to die at home. To be honest, if you can, you can't always do it because we couldn't with Dad. Yep. We just couldn't take care of him. So we tried it, and I mean, she just flourished. And all of a sudden, somewhere along in there, she was still having all these dreams and stuff with Dad. But then finally, one day I just came in, and it just seemed like she had her old spark back, and it seemed like her again.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. With Mother's Day coming up, Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic are a practical gift your mom will use daily, whether she's out walking, commuting, taking calls, gardening, all the things. Look, with active noise cancellation to block out all of the noise, she can stay focused on what she's listening to. And right now, they are 15% off. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic are packed with upgrades. They've got active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and a super comfortable design. Plus, they have new colors. Look, they've got blush violet, cool mint, rose gold, or if you're like me, the electric blue. You're no longer just like everybody else who's white. You don't get them confused. You're a standout. And Raycon delivers the same premium audio quality as the big brands, but at half the price. Over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, and there's zero reason to overpay. Look, I fly all the time. I use them.
32 hours of battery life is also clutch. That quick charge, boom, 10 minutes, 90 minutes of playtime.
And more than enough power to mow your whole yard with, because that's what I'm doing this time of year. So I wear them while I'm mowing, weed eating. You don't have to worry about it. Protects your ears, but you just got the awareness mode so you can still hear what's going on around you in case the boys come running up to me while I'm doing something outside. Look, I love my Raycons, and I know that you will too. Celebrate the moms in your life. Go to buyraycon.com/dark to get 15% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic. That's buyraycon.com/dark. Thanks, Raycon, for sponsoring.
Now so when I'm home, like I go get her, we go out to eat. She comes over to the house. She's like running around the house. The PT guy's like, Miss Kay, slow down. You're going to hurt yourself.
No, I had told her that because Nan brought her over to the house the other day. And and Nan took a picture of it because as soon as she drove up, Kay rolled the window down. And I said, what are you doing? I said, you're such a pain in the butt, Kay. I said, you always have been. She said, why are you jumping on me? And I said, because you're a pain in the butt.
Just like you would have 40 years ago.
Yeah. I said, you ain't changed and neither have I. So, and I don't know why. Well, we both just grabbed each other's hand when I'm holding her hand, and Nan took a picture of it, and we're talking. I'm giving her a rough time.
Well, I came in the other day and I said, how you doing, Mom? Because now she loves to sit out on their back deck and watch the birds and be outside, and which again is an amazing thing because before she just like zombied on the TV. And so now she's like loving life again, enjoying things. And she said, I've been working on a new TV series. And I was like, really?
Jeff and Jessica's in a movie. You and Lisa are in a movie.
Now Mom's working on a new one.
Working on another
It's about a bird watcher.
Yeah.
So I said, well, who's it about, Mom? She said, well, it's about me, of course. I said, okay. And I said, well, what are you going to do in the movie? She said, watch birds. And I said,
birds.
That sounds interesting.
Oh, I'm about to blow her mind. I'm going to get her one of those with a Bluetooth camera where she can watch it from anywhere.
And subscribe to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the next day I came over and she said, well, I'm writing a new book. I said, you are? I said, what's the book about? She said, watching birds.
Watching birds.
So that's where she's at right now.
It's about me watching birds.
But I actually
I'm
think
gonna have to go visit her.
I actually think
It's a
go
great
visit.
time. This is a great time of year for be a birder because you get all the migrants coming back
Oh, no,
through.
yeah.
It's like your
Quit
list.
being a nerd.
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
biology
saying.
man.
This is when the list grows, man.
Martin,
It's a cool time
how
of year.
often do I text you a picture of something and say, "What can you tell me what this
A
is?"
minimum monthly.
At least once a month.
yeah,
Every
it's,
time I'll see something, I was like, I know who. Because somebody said, I don't know what this is. I was like, I know a guy.
Stand by.
I know a guy that does.
I sent him one
If he
Sunday.
don't,
So.
if he don't, he'll research it and find
Well,
out.
I always said
for
he
me.
could totally be full of crap, and I'd never know because he's so confident and quick with his answers that I'm always by it. But actually, Martin knows biology as well as
I
anybody
know all
I
my
know.
stuff. I mean, most of the stuff you run into is common anyway. So that was like the easiest ones to learn. Now, if it was a toughie and you run into it, then that's pretty cool in and of itself there too. If I'm like, hold on, let me. But now they got all those AI deals that you can like scan pictures.
Well,
of
no,
it.
because that's
Yeah.
And it's
That
really
video
cool.
I sent you,
what's
AI
so
was not
weird.
going to get.
When snow or ice comes, you see all kind of new species of birds. Because he's some kind of sparrow, but he's red breasted.
Red breast,
Yeah, he's beautiful
but
bird.
little.
Yeah, little old bitty thing.
Oh, probably a house finch or something. Then
No, well, what's the yellow one?
goldfinch
Yeah,
is a yellow
goldfinch.
one.
I saw
Yeah,
one of
he's-
those,
he's in that
and a
family.
cardinal.
Yeah, so it's probably a house finch.
Yeah, but they only show up. Look, they only show up when it snows and ice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Otherwise, you don't see them. It's the craziest thing,
See how Mom's earworm is working on this podcast? We just had a podcast about bird watching.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
hey.
I'm telling
There
you,
you go.
she's onto something.
She's
Finally
onto
mentioned-
something.
Well, that's what I got my mom. One of the things I got her for the boys.
We got one of those at
was
my house,
We
the
got
cameras.
the bird house.
Yeah.
So like you can look inside and see the baby bluebirds hatching.
Oh, that's
yeah.
really
Via
awesome.
camera,
The one
so.
we have is just a little birdhouse and it's got the camera on the outside.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can catch them coming up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But Kay's doing well.
She's doing well. She's doing better than, I would say, probably better health wise. Ann and I were just talking about this, than probably, I would go back 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd be
There you
back
go.
to just after the show.
And I appreciate her driving her by the other day at the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because Nan is she's took over what Judy used to
Yeah,
do.
Willie tapped Nan correctly because she's done everything around here. She's been here since she was 16 at Duck Commander, but he knew she would be great at taking care of Mom, and so that
Oh.
is her main responsibility for Duck Commander these
Yep.
days, and she's great at it. She's the best. She's my daughter, but she's 40 now, which is hard to believe that
Oh,
I have
I'm aware.
a 40-year-old daughter. So
Yeah.
I remember when y'all brought her from the hospital, you could fit her butt in your hand.
this is there. She was 1
Same way
pound,
it was
1
with
pound,
Scott.
12 ounces. But
Yeah.
then she got, when we took her home, she was just at 4 pounds and tiny little bitty thing. And now she had 3 big old whopping daughters. And so she's done pretty
We'll
well.
wrestle you.
And she's
Has-
the quietest lippy person I know.
She is.
Has Kay?
Stone is scared of her. I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
no. Hey,
I am too.
look, your son-in-law is smart.
He's smart.
You better be
Yeah,
scared.
don't
of her.
turn your back on that one.
Yeah, you better be
Sleep
scared
with
of
one
Nan.
eye open, I'm telling you.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Robertson is strong on that one.
Yeah, she don't say much, but hey, buddy, when she does talk, you better listen.
That's why I said she's the quietest lippy person I know.
Yeah, you better watch out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has Kay told you who her favorite of all the podcasters are?
She has not.
She said it was you.
She has not.
I told y'all she didn't say that to everybody.
Yeah.
I have not.
She told me it was me.
As she visited
came
him at
She
the
has
honey
not
hole.
told me any different. So
They're all like, she says that to
Oh, she
everybody. I
tells
was like, you're not.
everybody that. She tells everybody.
No,
that.
she doesn't. No, because the other day I was at work and all of a sudden I look out. I said, "Is Kay at the honey hole?" And her friends were driving around. She said, "Go there. I need to talk to all of them." And so she wanted to talk to Mom and Dad. We all went and talked to her.
John David, I'm going to totally back you up because when you ask her who her favorite son is, she always says Jep, even to me. So she is honest.
Me and Jeff are the same kind
Exactly,
We grew up around rednecks. We don't really fit in, and we like Star Wars more than most. So, and we're
a lot
the
in
little
common.
girl of the
the
family.
little girl. That's right.
Oh, good.
Miss Kay
grief.
loves us babies.
Oh man!
That's fun.
Wow, this has been fun, man. Thanks for swinging by.
Real quick though.
What?
Well, we always end with the Bible verse. We're probably gonna let Al do it. Are you preaching? Easter is here.
I am.
This will probably air the day Tuesday after Easter. Or are you gonna? What are you gonna talk about?
I am preaching on Easter. It actually was totally birthed out of the podcast, and my text to leave for you guys is 1 John 3:2, which says, when we see, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading it, but when we see Jesus, we will know how we are going to be. In other words, when he appears, then we're really going to know what it's all about. And so that thought, it really inspired me to be excited about not just the resurrection and the second coming, but what does that mean for us?
Well, no.
You know, what are we gonna be like? You know,
that's why I told everybody about the power. You don't know what's available for you.
Yeah.
But just like you said, when we see him, we'll know him for what he is.
That's exactly right.
And that we are going to be like that one day.
Yeah. And the fact that he ate fish on multiple occasions once he was glorified.
I'm not Jase
I'm just
on
saying that's one of the things I'm looking forward to.
That's the Bible verse on my wrist.
There you go.
I'm like Jase on that.
Yeah.
There are going to be fish fries in that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jesus ate fish. Be like Jesus.
Yeah.
I know where you can get a T-shirt that says that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming.
That's
Well,
awesome.
check out Unashamed. If for some reason you're over here and you don't know about those guys, I would find that strange. But there's new people joining every day.
There's
So
always
you don't
some.
know. Check out.
You go to Unashamed for the scholars, the Bible scholars.
Don't
Come
say it.
here for laughter after you've listened to them, because sometimes you'll get sad because of
We love our brother podcast.
No, you won't get sad. Sometimes you leave Unashamed feeling a little guilty.
And I will say,
yeah, they were talking to me, so let me go over there and slide.
I
on my
will say this:
kinfolk
when
over
y'all
here.
get really fired up here, sometimes when we're recording together, I can hear y'all through that wall.
Oh, you hear? No. You hear one of us through that wall. You
Well,
hear-
hey, if I get fired up now, hey, I ain't apologizing for it.
And as a thank you gift for coming on here, we're gonna get you a pair of size famous knee high socks. So
Have you seen these socks?
Hold on,
Show
hey,
them.
hey,
Hold on.
look.
Watch.
wait for it. It
they
just
still
keeps
go.
going.
These
boy.
these
he
are
didn't have them pulled all the
these
way
are
up
the
today.
big model. And look, I put this on to go with the bees.
I like that.
Two way different colors of yellow. I love it. Praise God. All
Bumblebee
right,
too.
we'll see y'all next time right here in the Duck Call Room. We're out.